Hi, my name is Ed Wehan. Welcome to this episode of Our Ventura. I'm pleased to have with me today Mark Kirwin, who is the founder of the Kirwin International Relief Foundation. Mark, thanks for being here with me today.
It's a pleasure, and thank you.
Good, I'm excited to talk to you here a little bit. Maybe you can give us an overview, talk a little bit about the Kirwin International Relief Foundation.
Well, we are an international relief foundation that also does work in the United States. We sort of follow disasters, if you will, hurricanes, earthquakes, fires. We also have an educational component to it, where we typically will go to a place that's developing, we'll find schools that need help, and part of the process we may go back a second time and we'll help fund schools, classroom supplies, that type of thing.
What is the organization made up of? I mean, we have you. Is there a group of people involved?
We have 3 board members, my wife and another gentleman, and when we do trips we get various volunteers. We try to keep it small because of transportation issues in foreign countries can be difficult logistically.
Sure, I can imagine. I mean, I know that, you have a regular job, so you have to work this and all the travels in with your own personal life, so to speak.
Yes, being a lawyer takes a lot of work, but this is really important to us.
Yeah. So how did it start? How did you start this organization?
We were in Thailand during the Andaman Sea tsunami in 2004, December, and due to a series of events, we weren't where we were supposed to be, and we survived. The hotel we were supposed to stay at, everyone was killed. The boat we were supposed to be on to get to the islands, it was capsized in the tsunami and everyone was killed. So we were very fortunate. We thought, wow, it hit us pretty hard. So we just started working for the rest of our vacation, cleaned out the bank accounts, helped out the police and the nurses and everyone else. All the people took off their shoes, gathered in one spot. We loaded trucks, and my wife helped out in the hospitals trying to get people together with lost ones, and they didn't have passports or anything, so it was quite an experience.
And then you went back periodically?
We went back several times. We helped build some fish farms. We helped with other projects, and we put three orphans, tsunami orphans, through college.
Okay. So it was primarily you and your wife that were doing all of this at that time?
Yeah, I was usually the guy on the field, but she's always in the background.
Yeah. So the Kirwin International Relief Foundation, it's Ventura-based. It's sort of a Ventura community-based organization?
Yes, we're housed out of our house. We keep overhead very low because all of our time is volunteer, so the money that's donated goes to help with the people.
Right. So how do you go about then working in the community of Ventura, for fundraising, donations, energizing people to support the various efforts that you're involved with?
When the tsunami hit, we did several fundraisers, and that was great, but it was a tremendous amount of work.
Boy, it is.
And we wanted to have a lot of music and food, so we bought all that stuff out of our own pockets. And after a while, this is a lot. So we were told when we started out, if you do a disaster relief organization, it takes at least 2 years for you to get known on the web. And that came to fruition. And after a while, I think people just knew that if I said I was going to X disaster, then we'd get donations. A lot of times our bank account has almost nothing in it. And then something happens and I go, and it's amazing what the goodness of the people throughout this country have helped us out tremendously, Ventura and others.
Sure. So you work with some of our other nonprofits in the community, I think Rotary or Lions, other.
We have done partnerships with Rotary in the past, Lions in the past. Even in the Thomas Fire, we worked with the Mission Church and the group of leaders that met there. We share information. Our goal is to help people as much as we can,
right?
But also to share information with other partners to find out where the effort is. For instance, when we went into Haiti, I was there shortly after the earthquake, and we were in a warehouse. We were loading up bags of food to distribute to some of the people, and a Air Force captain walked in and kind of drilled me, like, who are you? What are you doing?
Right,
and after 45 minutes of talking with him, I shared all these locations of people who hadn't got any aid from that earthquake, and he was just so thankful because they were dropping in and they were finding these locations to try to give them aid because people were starving.
Yeah.
And he said, it's really amazing. I've met so many wonderful people from America, and you guys are inspirational, myself and all the other folks I've met.
Maybe you can just give some of the scope of what the organization has done.
We've worked in India for a long time, helping support a school there that my mother started many years ago. Haiti, we helped out with the earthquakes there. I've gone to Haiti also to help try to teach mediation techniques through another organization. Been to Peru after the earthquakes down there, and we also did educational work up in the Andes in Peru. Been to the Philippines after the big, I think they're called tsunamis over there. They're called, anyway, the big storm over there, a lot of water came through and destroyed a lot of the villages. We helped out there. I've worked in Thailand, obviously, with that issue, and then that flowed over to Cambodia. I've also worked with getting relief into Burma during the crisis there when the hurricanes hit over there. They're not hurricanes there, but
right.
they kill a lot of people, which aren't really broadcast.
Right.
So we just help.
But then you've also worked on disasters here in the United States.
We have. I went to Hurricane Sandy with a good friend of mine, Steve Dahl. And we helped out there after that disaster. My wife helped out a lot with Hurricane Katrina down in Mississippi. And we went down to Houston and helped out after the hurricane hit down there just recently, last year. And then we were just kind of sitting around doing our work, and wow, we walked outside and we saw that horrible fire coming down, and we had to help.
Let's talk a little bit about that, since it's our community and that particular fire was so impactful. So how did your involvement in assistance start, with that situation?
I just looked at that. I had just had shoulder surgery, so I was kind of, quite frankly, a little high on the drugs from what had happened, and my arm was in a sling, but I thought, we can help. This is what we do. And just made a few calls and found out one family that needed help. And that next day, I went to Target, withdrew some money and went to Target and got gift cards and met with them. And that started a chain reaction. We ended up assisting 140 people, over 54 families throughout a period of about a month. And lots of interviews. And
that was ranging from Ventura, but also Santa Paula and Fillmore.
We helped out anyone we could, and it took the reason why it maybe started in Ventura because we know people, but we would talk to people, and everyone we met was a friend of a friend, and through informal networks of contacts, such as you put us in touch with somebody, and that led to knowing about the folks in Wheeler Canyon who were in Trailer Park who got destroyed, and we helped out them extensively. We helped out a lot of people in Upper Hohai. Just a great, wonderful unity of volunteers that just came out, and we were able to do a lot.
Yeah, that was a spectacular response by the community and the organizations and stuff. One of the things that I noticed, on the website is we talk a lot, or I see a lot when I'm looking at your foundation at disasters and stuff. And you mentioned this a little earlier, but maybe you could expand on it, that really what you do is not only disaster relief, but sustainable development, education, and conservation. Maybe you could touch a little bit on those things and how that has worked in the various locations that you've been.
Well, I think sustainable development is if we can find a way to help the people help themselves and are on the ground so they can move forward. Because you're at a disaster, they've lost everything.
Right.
So you try to work with them on what they need, and then and if you can, you will buy product that maybe can help them long term. Conservation, we always try not to, the footprint that doesn't leave something.
Right.
That we do try to do that a lot. Education, that is a joy to me. My father was an orphan, and when we started out with going to orphanages, we've helped out in Tijuana orphanages and helped out in orphanages in Cambodia. And, it's just amazing. I remember walking into Cambodia in Phnom Penh, in this place, we found this orphanage, and these kids, they came out of nowhere and they were all over me like monkeys, They just wanted to be the human touch, and it was really moving.
Sure.
But, we helped them out a lot there.
Yeah.
And with schools, education is so important. Our children need to be educated, not just in America, but any country. And it's shocking when you walk into some of these classrooms and there's 5 or 6 kids trying to study off of a book that's really old, that's all ripped and torn. And you can go down and get books. So we asked the teachers, what do you need? And they go down and they pick out all the books. It's like Christmas shopping. And we get them the books and they take it back up and they distribute to the kids.
Yeah. Huh. I know in one short story that you had, there was a disaster or something, and all the local people, all their boats were destroyed, and that was their existence. You guys got involved in something there as well.
Yeah, in Thailand, there's a group of people called the Moken. They're boat people.
Yeah.
And through some faith-based organizations, we were able to find out that they had not gotten any aid from anybody. And I thought that was tough. Like, why? Why?
Yeah.
Because, there's divisions in the
Sure.
world throughout. It's not just in America.
Right.
People look at other people a little bit differently, and those things were happening. So I said, well, let's go out and meet them. And so we went and met them, and we were able to load up these. In Thailand, they have these big long boats, these big long propellers, and
Right.
we loaded them all up with water and food. And when we came to the beach, these people were all there because they were boat people. They understood the water. They ran up high, but they lost everything.
Yeah.
So the kids were all having, their hair was orange and their stomachs were extended, the signs of malnutrition.
Sure.
And so we gave them a lot of good stuff to eat.
Right. Huh. That's interesting. Well, we're coming to the end here of our show, but is there some other area you'd like to cover as it relates to the foundation? Any other insight you could give our community?
I think it's important, and I know others have recognized it, but the first responders for the Thomas Fire did an amazing job.
Right.
I mean, we're all so thankful for them. But I just also want to give a big thumbs up to all of the businesses and individuals who just helped out of their hearts, and they took money out of wherever they could, and they bought things for people. I mean, friends housing friends. I mean, there was such a displacement of people, and if it wasn't for the community together,
Right.
it would have been a really tough, and they all came together. So I'm very thankful for everyone in Ventura.
Yep. So how can our community help support you and your organization? Is there a website, a contact? How do they donate, volunteer?
We take donations at our website, KIRFAID, KIRFAID.org.
Okay.
You can donate there. There's a PayPal account, and that's all. PayPal takes their percentage. That's just the way it runs.
Right.
But everything else donated goes on to help out with people. We pay our own airfare. So that's best way to donate. As far as volunteering, it just depends on the situation. We have such a small group, and when we go places, we only take a couple people.
Sure.
Because again, putting 10 people in a van with
Right.
a bunch of goods as
Right.
opposed to 3, and then because you always got to leave room for a driver and someone who's helping you translate.
Understandable.
So, yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you.
It's interesting. I've enjoyed it, and I hope our community has too. So, thank you all for watching our show today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll look forward to meeting with you again on another episode of OurVentura.